Okay, we're going to talk about operations with irrationals. In order to do this, you need to understand these two parts. There's a third one, but we're going to discuss it in another video. Okay, to work with operations with irrationals, you need to remember to always operate like terms. Okay, work with like terms. Like if you see the same square root, imagine as if it's the same letter, like if it's x in this case, so 3x plus 5x would be 8x, right? So same way, if you have the same square root, 3 square root of 2 and 5 square root of 2, you will get 8 square root of 2. You just need to add the numbers outside. The numbers inside, you are never going to add them, okay? You just copy them. And the other one is you need to find square roots sometimes, like if you have a square root of 2, obviously you just need to copy it, because square root of 2 you cannot find a number that multiplies by itself. It's going to give you square root of 2. But some square roots can be found, like square root of 36. I know the answer for this one will be 6. Why? Because 6 times 6 is going to give you 36. Same thing for square root of 1. Square root of 1 will be 1, because 1 times 1 is going to give you 1. Square root of 4 will be 2, because 2 times 2 will give you 4. So sometimes you can find square roots. Now this one, no. Okay, square root of 2. Which number is going to give you number 2? No. Right? And once you find them, you're going to see that you can work with this number. 6 minus 1, 5, plus 2 will give you 7. Yeah, and you just copy the one that you cannot operate. Okay, so these two parts are kind of like the essence of operations with irrationals. So let's begin. We have this exercise. All we need to do is operate. This one is a square root of 3, because there's no number behind. You need to remember there's an invisible 1. So this is like saying 1 square root of 3 plus 2 square root of 3. So you just need to add 1 plus 2. So 1 plus 2 will be 3. Yes? So the answer will be 3, and you need to copy the type. 3 square root of 3. Yes? Now these ones, they are square root of 17. So, and they're both the same type, so you just need to operate like 5 minus 4, and you copy the square root. So 5 minus 4 will be 1, right? Positive 1 square root of 17. Yes? Now I need you to pay attention on this, okay? The answer will be 1 square root of 17, but remember that we never put the 1. So you're not going to put 1, yes? Now, square root of 3 and square root of 17, they are different square roots, yes? So you're going to leave it like that, okay? An extra instruction that I like you to follow will be try organizing the square roots from the greatest to the least, because square root of 17 is greater than square root of 3, then you're going to organize them this way. It's not necessary, but in online quizzes, I ask you to write them like this in order to write an answer. Okay. So let's go with another one. Okay, I will have negative square root of 7 plus 3 square root of 5 plus 5 square root of 7 minus 2 square root of 5. Okay, in the beginning you might see this difficult. All you need to do is find the square roots that are the same. Okay, I'm going to color this ones in blue, so that you see that they are the same. They're both square root of 7, yes, and these ones are in black, so you're going to see that they're both square root of 5. So all you need to do that is operate them. Okay, that's all you need to do. You just need to operate the numbers that are of the same square root. Remember, there's no number in here. That means it's an invisible 1, right? Minus 1, and this one is positive 5, so basically it's 5 minus 1, right? 5 minus 1 will be 4, okay? 4 square root of 7. And in the other one will be 3 square root of 5 minus 2 square root of 5. So it's like 3 minus 2 will be 1. Remember that we don't put the 1, right? We just put the type. The type is square root of 5. They are already organized from the greatest square root to the least square root, so that will be my answer. You just need to perform these operations. Kind of simple. You just need to operate the numbers outside and copy the square root. Usually the square root kind of like scares people, and you feel like confused. You're like, I don't know what to do. There's a square root of 5 in there. Just copy it. Okay. So let's go with another one. we have square root of 4 plus 3 square root of 2 minus 9. Okay, just put a space between this. Okay. In this case, if you notice, there are no like terms, like this is 4, this is 2, and this one doesn't have a square root. So technically, like, you might think, okay, the answer will be just the same thing, because you cannot operate things that are different type, right? But no, actually there's something you can do. Do you notice this square root of 4? Remember that I told you at the beginning that it's not only that you're going to operate like terms, but also sometimes you need to find square roots. Like square root of 4. Square root of 4 is number 2. So instead of square root of 4, you're going to put number 2. Okay? And you're going to copy the rest. Yes? You're going to copy the rest. And now you see that this is a number. This is also a number. Yes? So you can operate those two. 2 minus 9 will be negative 7, right? Negative 7 plus 3 square root of 2. Okay. Like I said, this will be the answer, but in online quizzes I ask you to reorganize them, placing the square roots first and then the number. Okay, so you could do this, changing the order of them, and that will be okay. It's not necessary if you're working on your notebook, but if you're working on a quiz, maybe you should do this because the instructions, they ask you to do it. Okay, always check the instructions to see what you need to do. Okay, let's see this last one. We have square root of 4 minus 6 square root of 4 plus square root of 25 plus 3 square root of 25. I could substitute each one of them immediately, but what I'm going to try to do instead is just operate with them. Okay, I have 1 square root of 4. Remember, there's an invisible 1 here. 1 minus 6. That will be negative 5 square root of 4. If you're thinking, why am I not going to change the square root of 4 with 2? Yes, you can do it, but in this case I prefer operating first and then changing the number. Okay, now square root of 25 plus 3 square root of 25. Remember that if there is no number behind the square root, it's an invisible 1. So it's basically 1 plus 3. Yes? So 1 plus 3 will be 4. And you copy the square root. Square root of 25. Yes? Now these two are different type. You cannot operate them. But remember, you have a square root of 4. And you have a square root of 25. Those are square root that you can find. Remember that it's not only operating like terms, but sometimes you need to find square roots. Okay, square root of 4, it will be 2, because 2 times 2 is 4. Square root of 36 is 6, because 6 times 6 is 36. So in this case, you need to find the square roots. Okay, now because they are attached right next to a number, you're going to have to put parentheses because there's a number behind them. Okay, so square root of 4 will be 2, right? Plus 4, and square root of 25, which number is going to give you 25? Multiply. That will be 5, because 5 times 5 will give you 25. So the answer for square root of 25 is 5. Because there's a number behind it, you're going to put it inside parentheses. This parenthesis, you need to remember that parentheses, they mean multiplication, right? So it will be minus 5 times 2 will be minus 10, and 4 times 5 will be 20, and minus 10 plus 20 will be positive 10. Yep, that will be the answer for this. Okay, that's basically how you're going to work with irrationals. You're going to have to operate like terms, square roots that are identical, and you're going to need to find square roots sometimes, square roots that you can get. Okay, that's basically how you work with irrationals.